Musa had fled from Egypt, the only home he had ever known. Now, the open desert stretched before him, endless, punishing, merciless. The sun scorched his back by day, and the cold bit at his bones by night. Hunger clawed at his stomach. Thirst burned in his throat. But Musa pressed on. The weight of what he had done, what he had lost, pressed against his chest like the heat of the sun above him. "Where do I go now?" he asked himself. But there was no answer, no sign, only the sand, shifting and restless, as if whispering secrets of those who had been lost before him, swallowing footprints as if no one had ever walked there, erasing his presence, just as Egypt had. And yet, he kept walking, kept pushing forward. He had lost the trace of time. He didn't know how much longer he could go on like this. But just as everything seemed hopeless, a flicker of hope emerged on the horizon. He saw something in the distance. A well, a place of life in this endless wasteland. He had arrived at the outskirts of the land of Midian. With the last of his strength, Musa dragged himself toward it. Villagers were gathered around, their animals drinking freely. But at a distance, two women struggled to control their flock. Unable to reach the water, waiting as men pushed past them, taking their turn first. Musa could barely stand. Yet something inside him would not let him walk away. "Why do you stand back?" he asked. One of them answered, her voice quiet but firm. "We cannot draw water until the shepherds have finished. And our father is an old man." Musa glanced at the well. His body ached, his stomach twisted with hunger. But without another word, he stepped forward. Despite his weariness, he gripped the heavy bucket, pulling it up with the strength of someone who had once been a prince. The shepherds glanced, but said nothing. Perhaps amused, perhaps impressed. The women watched in quiet awe. He brought the water and spilled it into the trough. Enough for their flock. Then, with a simple nod, he turned and walked away. His legs barely carried him to the shade of a nearby tree. He sat, breathing heavily, every muscle trembling from exhaustion. But it was not just his body that was weary. His soul carried a weight he could not describe. Finally, he closed his eyes and let the words come from the depths of his being. "My Lord, I am in need of whatever good you send down to me." He had been raised in Pharaoh's palace, among gods of stone and men who claimed divinity. Yet deep within, he had always known. There was only one, an unseen power, greater than kings, greater than the might of empires. He did not know his name. He did not know his plan. But in that moment, he surrendered to him completely. Musa sat beneath the tree, his body heavy with exhaustion. He had no plan, no strength left to think of what came next. But fate was not done with him yet. The sun had begun to set when he heard it. Footsteps approaching. He looked up. One of the women from earlier stood before him, her voice careful yet steady. "My father invites you, so he may reward you for your kindness." Musa exhaled, nodding. He forced himself to his feet and followed. He stepped into the village of Midian with her. With every step, his body protested. But the thought of shelter, of food, of anything other than wandering the desert, kept him moving. At last, they reached a modest home, simple but warm. Inside, an old man sat waiting. His eyes were sharp with wisdom, his presence calm yet commanding. This was Shuaib, a man unlike the kings and priests of Egypt. The old prophet studied Musa, as if he could see beyond the dust and weariness, beyond the rough cloak of a traveler. "Tell me, young man, who are you?" Musa hesitated. For so long, he had been a prince, then a fugitive. Now, he wasn't sure. "I fled from Egypt. I had no choice." He did not reveal his true identity, but Shu'aib did not press him. He only nodded, his gaze steady, understanding. "Fear not, you have escaped the wrongdoers." Musa breathed out, a weight lifted from his chest. Shu'aib called for food. Musa hesitated. In Pharaoh's palace, nothing came without a price. Shu'aib looked at Musa, and with a gentle smile he said, "Eat, my son. We do not seek payment for kindness." Musa took his first bite, the tension in his body slowly unwinding. As the night deepened, Shu'aib called his daughters aside. "Tell me of this man." One of them, Safura, spoke first. "He is strong, father. He lifted the bucket alone when others could not." The other sister nodded. "And he did not speak much. He asked for nothing in return. I believe he is trustworthy." Shu'aib listened, deep in thought. He was a man of wisdom, and he could feel in his heart that Musa was no ordinary man either. After some thinking, he returned to Musa. "I do not believe it was mere chance that brought you to my well today. I see strength and character in you, qualities of a man who can be trusted. You can stay with me for some time, till you gather your strength back." And so he stayed. At first, only for the night, then another, and another. Days passed, and Musa worked tirelessly, tending to the flock, carrying water, and repairing whatever needed fixing. The Prince of Egypt had now found purpose in this humble work. Shu'aib observed him in silence, the way he carried himself, the way he spoke, the way he worked. And in time, he saw something in Musa, the character of a man worthy of greatness. But he still had much to learn. And so, the old prophet came to a decision. He was going to make Musa an offer. One evening, Shu'aib called Musa to him. The old prophet sat with calm wisdom in his eyes, his daughters nearby, listening in quiet anticipation. Then he spoke. "Musa, you have lived among us for some time now. I have watched you work. I have watched you carry yourself with honor. And I believe my Lord has brought you here for a reason." Musa sat upright, sensing the weight of what was coming. The old prophet continued, "I wish to offer you something, an honest path forward." Then came the words that would give Musa a new beginning. "You are a man with no home, no people. But here in Midian, there is work. There is life. Stay. Work for me for 8 years. And if you complete 10, it will be out of your own goodwill." Then Shu'aib added, his voice calm but purposeful, "And if you accept, I will give you one of my daughters in marriage." The room fell silent. Musa's heart pounded. A family, a home, a purpose. For a man who had lost everything, it was an offer beyond anything he had imagined. For the first time in so long, Musa had a choice. A path not dictated by Pharaoh's rule or by exile, but by his own will. He met Shu'aib's gaze, then looked toward Safura. She did not speak, but there was a quiet strength in her eyes, a steadiness that told him this was right. Musa inhaled deeply and spoke, his voice firm. "So be it. I accept." A slow smile spread across Shu'aib's face. And so, Musa took his first true step toward his new life. He had fled as a man with no home. Now, he had been given one. He had run from a kingdom that sought his end. Now, he had been granted a new beginning. But the road ahead was far from over. and his true calling was yet to come.